back to another episode of the Midnight Guild. We want to thank you all so much for all your love and support from our last couple videos. We appreciate it so much. We just ask that if you like this video as much, to like it, share it, follow us, show us some love, and we'll show you some love back.
Yeah, and put in the comments if there's any type of videos and stuff you'd maybe want us to do, any topics you want us to look into, that kind of thing. Put it in the comments and we'll definitely look into it. Right. Okay, so serious time.
On today's episode,
literally, it is not for the faint of heart.
It's not.
So trigger warning for sure. We will be talking about some really dark things, murders, that kind of thing. I definitely would say that if you can't handle that kind of talk, you definitely might want to skip this episode and come back.
Yes.
At a later one.
So.
But today we are talking about the Deadpool killer.
Wade Wilson.
Not the Wade Wilson we all know and love from Marvel, as in the anti-hero Deadpool. This is not the Wade Wilson we all know and love. This is Wade Wilson. He's 30, and he's out of Cape Coral, Florida.
And this Wade Wilson, he has actually become quite famous, a TikTok sensation.
Yeah, not only TikTok, they make... Okay, well, we should say the women that are on TikTok that are obsessed with him, because all of this fame has come not because of what he did, but it's because he's hot.
He is hot.
And don't worry, I'll have a picture up of him so you can see why these women are fawning over Wade Wilson. And Josh said,
I'm ashamed that I think that he's hot, but I think he's hot.
Oh no, he is. That's just it. He is very attractive. He really is.
Because he's everything that our mom has told us not to go for.
Right. He has the whole bad boy vibe going, not because of what he did. Say that his crimes never came about. Say that those never happened. You can just look at him even from before he got all the face tats.
Oh, yeah.
He just looked like a bad boy. And we all know most women have a thing, well, I should say most younger women.
And the gays.
Have a thing for bad boys.
They do.
We all do, because for example, look at my husband.
Honey, let me tell you, I have done some stupid things in life for someone that had, a few tattoos and a felony record. I'm just saying.
My husband is covered head to toe in tattoos, and he looks like such a baddie, doesn't he? He looks so bad. He looks like a bad boy to his core, but I learned a good lesson. I learned to stop going for the bad boys. Just get you a boy that looks like a bad boy.
Honey, the first time that I met her husband, I would not speak to him.
He was scared.
I was like,
So, now in all seriousness.
Yes, moving on to the Deadpool killer.
Yes. So, like I said earlier, Wade Stephen Wilson, he's, like I said, he was age 30, is age 30, my bad.
Yes.
And he's out of Cape Coral. He took over TikTok during his trial.
Sensation.
During his trial for the 2019 murders of Christine Milton, 35, and Diane Ruiz, 43. Let's see. I wanted to see if there was anything else on it. Now, his trial wasn't until June 2024. But before we get into when he started becoming famous and everything like that, I'm going to let Josh give you a run through of what his crimes were and why it just blows my mind that these women, and I'm sure there's other people other than women, but I've noticed that it's more prominently women making the TikTok pages, the Facebook pages, the GoFundMes, all in defense of Wade.
Because we can change him.
That's definitely what they think. That's absolutely what they think. And they're just romanticizing a killer, and they're obsessing over him just because he's really hot. They're, instead of taking responsibility and, holding him accountable for the lives of two women, fellow women, they just completely overlook the fact that he murdered these women.
We don't want them to be lost in this program at all. We want them to have a little bit of a voice. Such a tragedy, did occur to them. And we don't want it to seem like we're making light of the situation or what they had to go through.
Not at all.
Or even what their families are going through.
Not
so
at
we do
all,
want to tell
horrific.
you a little bit about them and actually what happened to them. So we want to make that very, very clear. Alright, so we're going to start off with Christine Milton. She grew up in Illinois, and she moved with a friend at Cape Coral where she worked as a waitress. Um, it's reported that she loved to dress up, and her favorite holiday was Halloween.
Oh.
She had a quick wit, made everyone around her feel safe and understood, and, quote, was precious not just to me, but to everyone that knew her. She was 35 years old when she met Wilson at Buddha Live, that is Fort Myers bar. After leaving the bar and spending several hours at the home of Jason Shepard, Milton, Sailors, and Wilson went back to Milton's duplex. After Sailors left, Wilson strangled Milton to death in her sleep and then stole her car. The bastard. Diane Ruiz, and please forgive us, our dialect if we're not getting it right. We do apologize. She was 43, a mother, and engaged to be married, and they described her as caring and hardworking. She worked as a bartender at the Moose Lodge in Cape Coral. Coral?
Coral.
Coral.
That's
sorry. Okay. And never missed a shift in 5 years. And
wow.
I've been calling in all the time.
That is work ethic.
Let's see here. She was walking to work at 10 a.m. for her 10 a.m. shift when she encountered Wilson. A short time after killing Milton, Wilson saw Ruiz walking along Cape Coral Street and lured her into the car after asking for directions. When she tried to leave, Wilson beat and strangled Ruiz, pushed her out of the car, and ran over her repeatedly. Her body was found in a field 3 days later. So, that's just what type of monster this man is. He also has no regard for human life.
Does it mention... Oh, it's fine that you close it. We'll just...
I can... Oh.
I was going to say, we need to... also, because after he does this, he actually calls his father.
Biological father, too,
yeah.
Because he was adopted.
Oh, okay, I didn't know that.
That was something that was brought up in his trial, was mental anguish and abuse and things
so
like that.
He calls his biological father, and that's what I was going to say is, what is his name? Should we call it? I don't think it really matters.
I don't remember his name, but he's actually the one who, after Wade Wilson called him and confessed to these horrendous crimes, he actually is the one who called
the police.
Notified the police of this. And I want to say that he was picked up the same day, wasn't he, or the next day?
Let's see. I've got it wrote down. I do have it wrote down. He was arrested the next day and charged with the killing of both women.
Yes.
So, yes, his biological father, so after Wilson murders Diane, he calls his father and brags about it, saying that he killed these women, how he did it, in great detail, tells his father, and is just bragging, super, super proud of himself. No, not upset in the slightest, not regretful in the slightest, not an ounce of remorse. True psychopath.
Yes.
And so, yes, like we said, his biological father then called the cops and reported him, and then Wilson was picked up the next day for the murders of both women and charged. So, I remember I had not even heard of this case until he started blowing up on TikTok.
Honestly, for me, it was this. There was this little girl at work who was talking about this guy that she found attractive, and I didn't even know that he had murdered anybody by this point. So a quick little Google search, and I'm like, oh yeah, I was like, he's hot, I'd tap that. It's fine. And then I read...
Because you didn't know.
And then I read that, then you do a little bit more research, and oh, well, then you feel a little guilty for thinking that he was hot to begin with.
Well, yeah, there's no way you could have known what he'd done at that point. You know what I'm saying?
So he goes to trial in what, June?
Yes, June 2024.
June 2024, and that's when, all this sensation begins. Now, while he's in holding, waiting for... his trial date, that's when apparently he starts having all the tattoos done on his face, the swastika and the
Joker smile type thing.
Yeah. I guess what else are you going to do in jail?
I guess because he has to know that he's going to get convicted, and there's too much evidence.
Exactly.
I mean, he has to know that he's going to get. The jury's going to find him guilty, and that he is most likely going to be put to death. Surely he knew that.
So
if not, he's an idiot.
So here we are. We're starting this trial, and it becomes a very publicized trial.
Very.
Lots of media attention.
But all because he's hot.
Yeah. Like
that is
literally. Well, I mean, he's seen as a sex symbol,
which is insane.
But I get it though.
But he is not the first.
No.
By no means.
No.
That this has happened to. That has been a horrible criminals.
Long list.
And most of them are serial killers. Not all of them are serial killers.
I mean,
but there's been
Charles Manson had what, 2 wives maybe?
I can't remember how many, but I know he was married. He
Charles
got married.
Manson up in here already, honey, finding a wife behind the bars, honey, and I can't find a husband to save my life. I swan it.
Oh Lord.
But
it's crazy though.
It is crazy. It is crazy. So
like
now,
these women are not well.
These women who have took a liking to the Deadpool killer, like I said, I mean, I feel like they have a name for them. I'm not quite sure what that name is. I need to look that up real quick.
We took a quick pause so we could actually look up the word.
A little Google search.
Yeah, quick Google search, and here we are. The word associated with people that are attractive. I'll let you. So you read it and you understand it better.
So it's actually called hybristophilia, and it is a pretty much like people who are attracted to other people who commit crimes.
Like vicious crimes.
And so all of this related to the people who are doing these GoFundMe's, which has raised more than, according to Google, more than $70,000. $70,000 to the Wade Wilson. Honey, you all can GoFundMe, and I ain't even murdered nobody.
Right.
I mean, I'm just saying, honey, if they're going to send money to somebody, might as well do it to a law-abiding citizen. Mostly law-abiding citizen. And apparently some woman donated as much as $24,000.
That just blows my mind.
$24,000. Like, baby, go buy you a car.
Literally.
Honey, like, I mean, listen, you could go buy you a little Tuscan Villa for that amount, honey, but you're going to give it to a murderer.
Yeah.
A murderer.
Here's my thing. I'm like, honey, if you want somebody to donate money to, there is plenty of kids that need money so that they can go to school.
Yes.
There's plenty of people who need money because they have no food in their home.
Yes.
There is plenty of people who, I don't know, can't pay their bills.
Yes.
That actually, but they try. I mean, they're not just people that are out here doing nothing. There's also plenty of people that have lost their jobs and have nothing and actually really need the help, or like a veteran that is out here on the streets because the system's fucked. We all know it. And they're out here receiving no help, but yet you can't donate $24,000 to something that like that.
And honey, I know at least one bougie gay up in the Tennessee that would take your money. I'm just throwing that out there. Like, I mean, if you got it to spare, baby, we'll take it, honey. We'll take it.
So I will say that one good thing came out of this trial. On August 27th, 2024,
yes,
Wade Wilson was sentenced to death by either lethal injection or the electric chair should he so choose.
Old Sparky is what they call it.
Oh yeah.
Old Sparky.
So that is the good part about this. At least the system didn't fail us in that. The court system did not fail us. They at least convicted this horrible man for his crimes. Thank God. Thank God. Let's see. So, one good thing.
One good thing.
But what I think we're wanting to focus on today is what attracts
the women, or honey, the gays alike.
Right. But it seems to be more women that go like, over the top. Like they've been reading a little too much dark romance.
I mean, I kind of just associate it with loneliness.
Really?
You have to understand. I feel like it takes
to an extent, yeah.
It usually takes a certain type of person,
to be an idiot.
Yeah. Well, I mean, because if we actually look at these women who have married these serial killers behind bars, well, honey, I mean, they ain't none of them gonna be Miss America no time soon.
No, no.
And I mean, that's not me shaming anybody, honey. It's just facts. I mean, usually, and I feel like that's the type of people that these people like Wade Wilson, who's obviously a predator.
Oh, 100%.
I feel like that's the type of individuals that predators look for. They look for the vulnerable. They look for the weak. They look for the meek. They look for the ones who, might necessarily get looked over.
Oh, yeah.
In a general crowd. But now that's not always the case.
No.
I mean, it truly is not. I mean, sometimes, these, I wouldn't say they're ugly women by no means. I mean, beautiful women, but, just because you're beautiful on the outside does not mean that you're quite, as put together on the inside.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. So, that personally, to me, I think, and again, I'm someone who, when I first saw Wade Wilson, before I knew, his crimes and stuff like that, honey, I was like, yeah, he's hot. I'd tap that. You hear about what he's done in
detail.
Yeah. It diminishes the factor of it. I mean, yeah, he's still hot, but I'm just, he's also a monster.
Exactly.
So there's always that you have to fall back on. But again, I'm no one to sit here and judge on loneliness or anything like that. I know it makes people, it can make people do crazy things. Obviously, it can make people donate $24,000 to a murderer.
No. You know what's crazy is most of the time I feel like you would be the one being like, I'm judging, and you're over here being so nice, I'm over here like, honey, I'm judging, and I am judging hard.
Well, listen, I'm trying to play both sides of the spectrum, because I guess I do understand the loneliness a little bit better than you do, though, because I am the lonely single cat dad over here, and you're the happily married with her, biker daddy husband that we've heard all about. No, I'm kidding. He's worth bragging about.
But here's the thing, though. I'm sorry. I know you, and
yes.
I know for a fact, no matter how, I know we joke about like if in another life, if you were behind bars, but realistically, I know for a fact that you would never.
No.
You would never. You would be fucking terrified.
No, I would.
You'd be like, keep me away from this man.
I would, but now some people thrive on that terror.
I know, and that's crazy because I'm dead serious. This is the way I look at it, and then this is my point of view. If Wade Wilson and I, by strike of chance, were the last two people on Earth, I would be like, all right, honey, you take the fucking northern half of the world. I'll take the southern part. You stay on your side of the world. I'll stay on mine. I wouldn't give a damn how lonely I was. I'd make friends with the animals. I wouldn't want to be anywhere near that man. I would want to be a hemisphere away.
If we're the only two people.
Yeah.
And there's no one left to judge me, so I probably do.
But what if he kills you?
We're the last two people on Earth. What does it matter?
Wouldn't you still want to live, though?
So I'm alone with a serial killer.
Yes.
My options are limited.
Yeah.
I still got needs.
I would be terrified. I'd be making my own needs.
But if we were the last two, I'm not saying I would feel good about the situation. But
I would be see. I was like, I told him I'd be like, you can have this half, I'll have this half. I wouldn't even tell him that because I wouldn't even approach him. I'd be like, for some striker chance, we became the two only people in the world, honey. I'd be getting it. First of all, I could probably just stay put because he'd probably never come to East Tennessee. Like he'd probably just.
Florida.
Yeah, stay in Florida. Yeah.
Floridians.
Yeah. So.
I need to stop knocking on Floridians. They're going to hate us. We really do like the Floridians. We don't like the Gators, like the team, because, go Vols. But, I'm just saying, But now Florida has.
He's the one that keeps bragging on the Floridians. I love Florida. But go Vols.
I was about to say you were throw something in there, honey. About to take it away from you. But I mean, I don't begin to understand the mindset of these women, or I mean, I understand the loneliness aspect of it. I don't understand the mindset. Personally, I mean, I don't make a lot of jokes and stuff, but personally, after my first initial thought, yes, I will say that he, is a very attractive.
Oh, he's very
man.
attractive. Yes.
But attraction,
it only goes so far. It doesn't take away what he did to those poor women.
It does not. It doesn't. And it shouldn't. That's. I
Absolutely
think
not.
that's the point that we're trying to, convey.
Right.
Is
It's just
just because somebody is a beautiful person on the outside, if they are
they can be
evil
rotten to the core.
on the inside, I mean, honey, the ladies, please, honey, if by chance you see this, stop it.
Stop. Please stop.
Honey,
Because he might not be judging you, but I am.
honey,
And this is ridiculous.
And baby, listen, honey, we're Baptists. We were raised our whole lives to judge people. All
Right.
right. So.
And this is ridiculous.
I
I mean,
mean,
it
it is a
really
bit.
is. But this
I
is
mean,
not the first time this has happened.
It's
It
not.
happened with, like we were talking about earlier, Charles Manson.
Yeah,
It
Charles
happened.
Manson.
It went crazy with Ted Bundy.
Ted Bundy. The
Robert Ramirez.
Yes.
And
which
then-
one was it? Oh.
The Night Stalker, right?
Yeah, he was.
And then,
Yeah, Night Stalker.
and then the Mendez brothers.
Yes, and I mean that's a big one right now too. Like they are actually getting a lot of publicity. I think we're actually going to do another podcast on them.
Right, and I don't know
Soon.
anything about their story.
Oh,
I haven't
I
watched
do.
the thing on Netflix or
Oh,
anything
yeah,
like that.
I mean-
Because I don't want to be influenced. I want to actually read the story and all that stuff. No, that's okay. That's okay. Like, I want to actually, like,
But
read
they
it, understand it, and all that
they
stuff.
recently made the news. There's actually some family members of theirs that are, I guess,
Coming forward.
coming forward to actually do another appeal for them.
Oh, wow.
Now, again, every other appeal was denied. So, that'll be another podcast for another time. We're not trying to jump train or
Right,
anything.
exactly.
But just to show, like, the significance of like this it's a popular thing apparently to be attracted to these serial killers.
I will say that I think that in
And
this day
now,
and age,
oddly enough, though, I mean, I know we focused on men, women being attracted to men, but now there have been just as many men attracted to female serial killers as well.
really,
Yes, it does. Like, it's something that actually does skip gender. Predominantly, you do see it with, more men, because statistically speaking, there are more men serial killers than they are
Right.
female serial killers. So, obviously, the statistics do sway in a certain
right,
direction.
of course. And those tends to be the ones you hear about.
Yes, but you have to think, like, the only reason, well, not the only reason, but I guess one of the most significant reasons that he became so popular is that day and age that we live in. I mean, we live in the day and age of TikTok and YouTube and Facebook and instant everything. But, honey, this has been going on even before that. Like,
of course.
I mean, with Jeffrey Dahmer, Ted Bundy, all of these, honey. And, I mean, listen, their only correspondence was, a few letters in jail every now and then.
Yeah.
Honey, and they still had massive followings.
Massive followings.
I mean, who was it? Was it John Wayne Gacy who used to paint the pictures, and like he would paint pictures and sell them? I'm pretty sure it was him. A lot of them do watercolors. I don't know what it is about painting and serial killers, but
Really?
yeah. Well, no, I really do think it was John Wayne Gacy. I would have to look it up, but I'm sure he's going to come across one of our podcasts eventually. So
I'm sure.
We'll get around to that
Yeah.
information. But ladies, seriously, honey, if you're that lonely, buy a cat. If you don't
Yeah.
like a cat, buy a dog, honey. If not, then get you a gay best friend.
And if you can't do that, get a bird.
Maybe not a bird.
Some people like birds.
Well, I don't.
I like how I said that. If you can't find a gay best friend, basically the only thing,
Left is a bird.
the only thing left for you to get a pet wife.
Honey, if the gay...
We put gay best friend in the pet category.
Honey, if the gay best friend won't have you, then buy a bird.
At very least, a bird.
A bird. Hey, yeah.
But I want to say this though is I think that, and I'm not knocking dark romance readers by any means. I myself read dark romance. It's far and few in between, but I've read dark romance, and I think that book talk is such a phenomenon.
It is.
And everybody has become so obsessed with like dark romance novels and stuff like that. And I wonder if that maybe that has something to do with a lot of these women.
It could be. We live in a world that romanticizes a lot of things.
Yeah.
We have a tendency to do it in a lot of things. Like 50 Shades of Grey.
Yep.
To be
The
example.
BDSM, that like.
Because, honey, we all know well that if that man had not been a millionaire, if he had been little Jim Bob over at the trailer park, honey, he would have been locked up.
Yeah, and none of us would be romanticizing it.
He would be locked up.
But here's the beauty in it. That's a story. It's fake.
It's not
That's
real life.
exactly. It's not real life. Like I said, I'm not shaming any dark romance readers. I myself read dark romance.
I don't
I'm not
really
shaming.
read them, but I do hear about them via my little straight girlfriends here.
So I'm not shaming it at all, and I'm not insinuating that if you're a dark romance reader, you're attracted to someone like Wade Wilson.
Oh no,
not at all.
No,
Not at all. But I do
absolutely
wonder that if for some of these women that have, what was the word again?
not.
Hybristophilia.
Hybristophilia.
Yeah. I wonder if that makes them feel like it's more acceptable for them to feel this
Maybe.
way about a killer.
Maybe, and I guess the only good thing that could be said about, dating a man behind bars, well, honey, he ain't going nowhere.
Well, not only that,
And again, ladies,
I
let's just go
think they
ahead.
look over the fact that he's done these things because it's not like that he can do them to them because he's behind
He's
bars.
behind bars. And again, ladies, honey, if your potential lover is serving not one but 2 consecutive life sentences, and I'm pretty sure that they added another 12 years on for some little drug mishap that they had up in the prison system while he was there. So we're talking 2 consecutive life sentences plus an additional 12 years. Honey, you might want to let that go.
Amen.
Alright, you might want to let that go.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
And I feel like the only reason this man is entertaining any of these women is because he likes the attention.
Oh, honey, he wants that money on a commissary.
And that was going to be my next thing. Is he likes
wants
the
that money,
attention,
yes.
and then he's wanting money on that commissary.
Honey, apparently that top ramen is not cheap in
Exactly.
prison.
And you bitches be making him so comfortable.
So comfortable.
Be making him his life so comfortable in prison while he's waiting to be for his lethal injection or whatever, which blows my mind because he should suffer.
Now, according to some of the little research too, honey, he's not just entertaining the men folk or the women folk. He's entertaining some of the men folk too. I'm just telling you, a dog will be a dog.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter what gender.
And we know what our mamas always said, honey, if you lay down with the dogs, you're gonna wake up with the fleas. Alright? So keep your collars on tight, lovies.
Feeling that some people are going to come for us in the comments about some of the things we've said in this episode, but here is the fact of the matter. I just don't care because this man is a monster. There's no way.
He is a murderer.
There's no way you can spin this a different way. This man is a monster. He killed 2 innocent women. One of them was a mother. And there's no way that you can spin it that makes this man in the right.
So,
Period.
live by this good old philosophy, sweetheart. It's okay to look, because I myself have looked. Okay? It's alright to look.
Right.
Don't try to touch.
No.
There's just no sense in it.
And
You ain't
maybe
gonna be able to.
yeah, and maybe, I don't know, think about spending your hard-earned money on people that could really use the help.
Yes.
And maybe stop sending this man money in jail for him to live the end of
like
his
I said,
days comfortably, because he doesn't deserve to live comfortably.
Honey,
Do your research.
If you need a man to whisper sweet nothings in your ear, sweetie, for the right amount, I got you. Alright?
I'm sure they have a hotline for
I was
that.
gonna say, I will post my Cash App, honey. If you are really that hard up to send somebody money, baby, I got you. I got you. Listen, I can play butch. We want to thank you all so much for tuning in, for listening to us ramble on and on and on. We hope you enjoyed it. We hope that you will like us, follow us, share us, show us some love. Let us love you back. We, like I said, we're just getting our feet wet in this, but we definitely don't want to disappoint anybody. So we appreciate you all so very much.
So much. And if you could please subscribe, and then next to that little subscribe, there should be a little arrow there that you can click on, and then you can hit to get notified for all of our notifications, and it'll tell you when all of our videos pop up immediately, so then you'll know when we posted.
And you lonely ladies, I wasn't kidding about that Cash App. Let me know, honey. I got you.
Bye.
Bye.